Hello everyone and welcome back to another Korean movie review. I'm your host Ian from EonTalk, and today's video movie review will be on the new drama K-film, Kingmaker. Directed by Byun Sung-yeon, the same director of The Merciless and My PS Partner, Kingmaker starred Seo Kyung-gu and Lee Sung-gyun. Kingmaker wasn't completely based on true events, but it did have some overlapping correlations to real aspects of historical figures. From the start, it clearly states that the film got motivations from history, but that the story, the characters, and events were fictional. So basically, it was loosely based on some individuals and happenings, but the film itself claims it wasn't based on true, real-life stories. I know, a little confusing, but was probably done to avoid facing any potential legal or other types of issues. Thus, all characters' names weren't actual names of historical figures, like the names of the president or the presidential candidates, but they drew oddly similar characteristics to real-life people from the past. Anyways, the movie is about a man that joins a presidential candidate's campaign in order to help him win the presidential run, aka make the candidate the quote-unquote king, hence Kingmaker. But before diving deeper, let's first take a look at the detailed synopsis of the movie. Kim is a politician seeking to change the world. He's joined by Seo Chang-dae, a genius strategist that implements unseen strategies that brings Kim many wins, eventually making him the presidential candidate to represent his party. The full-fledged march toward the presidential election begins, and Kim Seo Chang-dae, and their team do their best to win the election. But one day, an explosion occurs at Kim home, and Seo Chang-dae is identified as the suspect. Was this another ingenious tactic of Seo Chang-dae to give Kim the upper hand in the presidential race? Or was it planned by the opposing party that's known to have done shady things in the past to get their way? A fierce election and a fierce relationship of the two men begins. Before getting deeper into the review, I'd just like to give a quick shout out to ExpressVPN. If you're looking to access more Korean movies but don't know where to find them, I highly suggest using ExpressVPN and accessing more Korean content. By using ExpressVPN, you can bypass geo-restrictions, meaning you can be from anywhere around the world and access the Korean servers. If you'd like to access more Korean content like on the Korean Netflix, be sure to sign up for ExpressVPN using my link in the descriptions or expressvpn.com/EonTalk and get 49% off an annual plan plus 3 extra months for free. Better yet, if you sign up and don't like the service, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, meaning you can cancel anytime within the first 30 days. Okay, getting back to the review, I'd just like to say that I'll be giving my thoughts and opinions of the movie from here on out. Therefore, there may be minor spoilers or parts about the movie that you may not want to hear before watching yourself. I'm going to keep spoilers to a minimum, but please be aware of this. That being said, let's get right into what I found to be the good parts about Kingmaker. First, I must say that Kingmaker had two very strong leads. Seo Kyung-gu fit the politician role so perfectly with his charisma and speech, and his tone and his voice suited very well with the Kim character. Lee Sung-gyun played the role of Kingmaker, but essentially is like a con man. The way he gets his wins and strategizes can be very looked down upon, but you gotta admit his tricks are pretty ingenious, and gets the W at the end of the day. I saw on another show that there actually was a man that worked as the quote-unquote Kingmaker, and I believe this character Lee Sung-gyun portrayed was based on that man. However, as mentioned before, all names and details of events were changed and modified. Although there were a lot of overlapping themes, they weren't actually based on real events, or if they were switched up a little bit, like the details. But moving along from the character itself and into Lee Sung-gyun's portrayal, he was really good in the role. Lee Sung-gyun is extremely good at delivering his words, and his diction is unmatchable. An amazing performance by him. And it wasn't just with the main cast, but the film had a strong supporting cast as well. Cho Woo-jin is so good in that subtly bitter, undesirable character role, much like in Default and Money. And other notable supporting cast members were Yoo Jae-myung, Yoon Kyung-ho, Kim Jong-soo, and Kim Sung-ho. Kingmaker is a politically based historical movie, but unlike a lot of other films that revolve around politics, it's actually really fun, entertaining, and gets you interested, much like The Man Standing Next. I loved how it gives a good background explanation so that you don't need to have extensive prior knowledge about the history to enjoy. The film also had frequent humor points to keep it from being dry. This is key as some movies based on history or politics can be very dry and boring. This kept a really good balance. Furthermore, the cinematography and camera work, as well as the set design, were great. The angles and the way the movie was shot was very notable, and you can see why certain parts were shot in certain ways. Also, the design of the set was phenomenal and really places you in the times the film was set in. The hair, clothes, the environment all reflected so well of the times. Moreover, there was really great use of auditory elements. Music, sound effects, use of crescendos, and even silence were really well implemented. Okay, let's now take a look at what I found to be the negatives of the film. I just have one thing to say for the bad parts about Kingmaker. In general, I thought the film did a great job at executing acting, the cinematography, the narrative, and practically all fields were checked positive. However, I found that the film did get a little slow at times. It did pick back up again, but then slow down again before reaching its climax. I guess this is because the movie does such a good job with progression and keeping the audience's attention in the beginning and up to the middle that after a certain point, it slightly lost its pacing. Not a deal breaker, but just a note that I had. Overall, I really enjoyed the overall tone Kingmaker had. A serious topic, suspenseful moments, and humor to keep it from being dry. All of that gave it its own color and tone. A very solid movie. I'll give Kingmaker a ticket price value of $13. And that concludes today's review on Kingmaker. Thank you to everyone that watched till the end, and I hope this review has given you some insight into the film. If you've seen or are planning to watch the movie, I'd love to hear your thoughts about the film, so please leave a comment or join the EonTalk Telegram group and we can discuss over there. If you'd like to access more Korean content, be sure to sign up for ExpressVPN using my link in the descriptions to get 49% off an annual plan. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and would like more video movie reviews. Once again, thank you to everyone that watched till the end, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
선거 운동을 돕게 된 서창대 옷이다.
처음 만났을 때 했던 말 기억한가? 세상 바뀌는 거 보고 싶다고. 자기 목소리 내는데 겁먹지 않고 희생을 강요받지 않는 세상.
이기셔야 그 내일을 이룰 수 있는 거 아니겠습니까?
어떻게 이기는지가 아니고 왜 이겨야 하는지가 중요한 거지.
표를 걸든 돈을 걸든 뭐가 다릅니까?
이제 나랑 같이 가시겠는가?